here.
Hey, Ace Frehley.
Yay!
All right. You're on the air live with Boris and Robyn. Thanks for calling us this morning.
Good morning, Boris and Robyn.
You know, we just played New York Groove, and we're talking about this new album you have coming out called Origins Volume 1 with a lot of these cover songs. And I have to ask you, because, you know, New York Groove, I forget, is like a cover song. You really made it your own. So, like, going into a project like this, like, how do you, like, take these songs that people know and make them your own? Is that a difficult thing to do?
Not really. You know, whenever I play something and put it together, or, you know, on a record, I always put my stamp on it. You know, my friend used to say to me, Ace, you Aceify it.
Aceified, I like that.
You know, there's nothing I can do that I don't really put my stamp on. You know, I put a lot of thought into the choice of the songs. You know, there was a long list, and I had to do some editing. But, you know, all the songs on the record pretty much were groups that influenced me, you know, in my formative years. You know, as a teenager, I picked up the guitar at 13. You know, by the time I was 15, I ended up going to see Mitch Wright and the Detroit Wheels at a Murray the K show in Manhattan, and lo and behold, the Who and the Cream were opening.
Wow. Don't you love that the Who and the Cream were opening up for Mitch Ryder?
Yeah.
Now, you got a real impressive list of people who collaborated with you on this. I know Slash is on the album, Mike McCready is there, Lita Ford, and I was kind of surprised, to be honest with you, to hear that Paul Stanley is actually musician on the album as well. Because I know there's been some bad blood there, right?
Well, yeah, the press amplifies that. We're really all brothers in rock and roll, and, you know, we're all friends. We've always have been, you know. But, you know, I guess it makes good copy in the press, you know.
All right, so we know you got Paul on the album, and I read somewhere that you reached out to Gene Simmons to be a part of the project, and that just didn't work out. What happened with that?
Well, I tried calling Gene a couple of times, and I got his answering machine. So, I shot him a few different texts. I even went as far as to get a hold of Doc McGee and tell Doc to let Gene know I wanted to get a hold of him. And I guess, you know, either he didn't get the message or he was just too busy. So, you know, I said, well, let me reach out to Paul. You know, I had Paul's cell phone in my phone. I gave him a buzz. He picked up immediately, and, you know, from the outset, he thought it was a great idea. It would be a lot of fun, and it took a while to choose which song we wanted to do. We were originally thinking about Derek and the Dominoes, Little Wing. Then we were kicking around maybe My Generation. But, you know, towards the end of the elimination process, I came up with the idea for Fire and Water, and he loved it.
Yeah. So now, where do things stand now with you and Kiss? I mean, you say the press kind of amplifies the bad blood, but I mean, I read the Paul Stanley excerpts from the book. They weren't very flattering, and I know there was that whole thing with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and there was so much bad blood there.
Two sides to every story.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, I understand that. So where do you guys stand now? Like, is there any hope of getting the boys back together?
Well, that's really a question for Paul and Gene. I've always said that, you know, I've always left the door open. You know, I'm the kind of guy that says never say never. You know, but pretty much the ball's in their court. We haven't had any discussion about that down the road.
Gene Simmons is not returning my text messages either, so I'm not going to get an answer for you. All right, so now, Ace, you're coming to town. We're going to see you next month, right? April 16th. I think we've got a show at the Chance. What are you going to expect at this show? Are you going to be doing most of these covers from the new album, or what are you doing?
Well, I have my new touring band, Chris Wise on bass from The Cult. You know, my old drummer Scott Coogan, and you know, an old alumni from my past days, Richie Scarlett on guitar.
Richie's a Hudson Valley guy. Richie and Joanne are good friends of mine. I love them, and I love that Richie's back in the group with you.
Yeah, he's injected a lot of energy, and you've seen Richie play. You know, he just exudes energy when he's on stage. So, you know, he helps recharge me. You know, it makes me think of, you know, when we first started playing together in the 90s. So, I mean, it's a great lineup, you know, good cross-section of my material, you know, some old Kiss songs. You know, right now we're doing Emerald off the new record, and we're probably going to end up doing a second song off the new album.
These shows at the Chance are legendary, and I'm sure the one on April 16th is not going to be exception. It's going to be something not to miss. So, Ace, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We're so glad that you're coming to town, and really excited about the new album, Origins Volume 1. Very cool.
Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Boris and Robyn Show on 101.5 WPDH.